Hello.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
You know,
we're in a car.
We are in a car, and this is another History Loves Company Tombstone Tourism Tour 2021. I am Christa McKay, and my Tombstone Tourism traveling companion,
Amy Reed.
So we are going around trying to find as many cemeteries as we can in Cobb County and visiting them through the directions. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, visiting them is the key because we have found many others, but they've been locked up and we don't want to trespass, so we haven't visited, So.
Well, no, we've actually seen them, but we haven't gone in them.
Right.
So there is a difference.
Right.
We have found them.
Yes.
But we're going to go through the proper channels in order to film and do all of that. So today we are still using Sadie's book, First 100 Years, 90-Year-Old Directions. Go ahead and say what the directions are for this cemetery, which is Milford Church.
Milford Cemetery. It says, turn off Marietta Austell Road, 6.5 miles from Marietta.
So if you are a really good observer, you might observe from my window that we actually found it.
What?
Full disclosure, I was pretty sure I knew where it was because I used to come down Austell Road all the time. But it is, the way we got here was Atlanta Road to Austell Road, went down the Marietta Austell Road for what ended up being, I guess, 6.5 miles.
But it does not tell you to turn left or right.
No, it doesn't.
So we just, took a gander, took a stab in the dark.
I knew which way. I knew. But it's not very far from the intersection of Milford Church and Austell Road. Like if you're driving down, if you did a quick turn either way, you'd be like, oh, I see that church.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's a big church.
It's a pretty, yeah.
And then that's not all.
Oh, what else does she say?
Well, it tells you once you turn, cemetery is about 1/2 mile south of the main road.
Yeah.
And that's about accurate.
That
it's
is
still 1/2 mile south of the main Austell Road. So
my book,
yes,
which is, it's actually, we've been showing you volume 1. This is volume 2 of Cobb County, Georgia Cemeteries, volume 2. It's a big one. Had to bring all the big guns out today for this one because it's in volume 2 and it says 1030 Milford Church Road. So we did not plug that into the GPS to do it because
we're doing old school.
That wasn't a challenge.
No.
But this one, even though it was surveyed in September of 1982 by Larry O'Blair, it also mentions that it was surveyed.
Larry O'Blair?
Yeah, that's what he calls himself when he writes stuff up.
But like Blair Valley, is that Blair?
No, that's dang it. No, it's the former mayor.
Oh,
Rip Blair.
Rip Blair. Yes, that's right. Okay.
He might be related. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it also says November 8th, 1936 by Franklin M. Garrett.
Oh, how nice.
So
came up from Atlanta.
So when Sadie was doing all these surveys at the same time somebody else, Franklin Garrett, was doing surveys of the cemeteries. They never actually ended up crossing paths. I think they said something like that. But he did this one after her book was published.
Yes.
But so this cemetery is actually still maintained by the Milford Baptist Church, which again you guys will see in just a minute.
Which is thriving.
It is.
It looks like it is. I mean, I don't personally know, but it looks like it's doing all right.
We're gonna, we found it very easily. There's actually, what's really nice is there's a driveway all the way around the cemetery. So we're gonna, we drove down it. That's just what I did. And we're gonna show you guys what it looks like in just a minute.
Yes, we are.
You'll have to wait just a minute.
All right.
We'll see. Oh wait, before I forget, stars are enabled on this video, and you can, if you like what we're doing, give us stars. Because we also, while it does not go for us to eat or get anything to drink, it goes back to programming. If you feel so inclined to give us a little bit so we can try the local cuisine of the areas.
No.
I'm just kidding. No.
It goes back into programming, helps pay for gas driving all around this county because it's a pretty big county.
By you supporting our programming, you're supporting the museum and us being able to do this. And that's number one, what's important.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
We will tour around in just a second.
All right.
You have to
see you then. Okay. I'm like, watch my hand. Watch my hand in my glasses.
That's fancy. All right. We're at the top of the hill, closer to Austell Road versus, Austell Road's behind.
But we're on Milford Church.
We're on Milford Church, but we're closer to Austell Road than we are not to Austell Road.
Yes.
And then, hold on. There you go. There's the church.
Yes.
That's it, right there.
Lovely.
The flagpole is dinging at us. It's like a school bell, it sounds
It
like.
is.
It's like,
It is kind of like a bell.
okay.
It's a lovely day, but it's hot.
That's why you brought the
It's
big
hot.
guns out.
That's right. Got my shade hat, but I need one about this big so it covers my whole body.
Yeah, again, as I say, there's a breeze. It's not humid. It's just
Hilly.
a little. Yeah, it's not hilly. It's just we had to go uphill because the stories. We try and figure out where everybody is that I want to tell a story about, and of course the interesting story was at one end of the hill, and the other was all the way at the bottom end. So you guys will go from one end to the other with us. As I said just a few minutes ago, that there is a drive that kind of goes all the way around. So we walked up that because it was in the shade. But we're at the top. You'll see here. I'll show you guys what it looks like. See,
Look at that.
not a lot of shade here.
No, well, there's a few spots.
There's a few spots, but not like
not like
other ones
others.
we've gone to. This one really, really does remind me of Collins Springs.
Yes, it sure does.
It's one end to the other, very few trees. It's a Baptist church. So the first story I'm going to tell you. Well, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, one thing that after touring a number of cemeteries that I've noticed that I never noticed before is that it makes me wonder why they would build cemeteries on a hill. Because you see after, say, 100 years for some of them, some less, they start really decaying because they're on a hill.
Slope, yeah.
From erosion, you see a lot of erosion happening, and you see a lot of things tilting over.
This cemetery, it goes up downhill, east west and north south. So like it's not just one direction. It goes all.
Yeah.
Well, but then so this Milford Baptist Church was a mission church that came out of Concord Baptist, which is down in Smyrna. So it was an offshoot of that, and it started in 1871. We'll show you the first plot in a minute, but where that first plot is, nobody ever goes in, at least for a church cemetery, thinking we're going to end up with, I think there's over 520 graves here. Like, you don't think about
I guess
that.
not, especially when you're a smaller community. There's no way they could have anticipated the population growth that we've had in Cobb County over the last 100 years.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
but still, even the newer ones are on this hill, like right here. Not newer, older ones are on the hill, and it's like you can just see everything sagging.
Behind it, like all of this is down.
Give it another 20 years, and some of these are going to be in really, even though the church is trying their best to keep it up, you can see they're trying their best regardless. It's I don't know. So
this congregation is kind of the opposite of what we saw with Collins Springs and Bethel. Whereas they have these churchyards and there's nobody around to keep it up. This congregation is. This is one thing I found looking at the Milford Baptist Church and this cemetery in the Marietta Daily Journal archives. Repeatedly, I have found articles saying, we're going to have a cleanup day at the Milford Cemetery. Cleanup day, like repeatedly.
Yeah, so they're active in trying to keep it clean. And we've noticed some newer graves and some older graves that have new flowers. So there's definitely people coming out.
So 1870 is the first grave, which we'll see in just a minute. The most recent literally is this year, 2021. Like did you see that?
I don't think I saw that one.
There's no headstone yet, but
okay.
It is clearly a newer burial.
Okay.
So where we're at in this corner is actually the Blair plot. I am not sure if this is any relation to Rip Blair
or Larry Blair
or any Blairs but the story is for this child. Let me show you guys this one. Turn around. So this is Addie Ruth. Oops, trying not to get the camera away. Addie Ruth Blair, February 19th, 1924, June 19th, 1930. What does it say lower down?
Sleep on, sweet Addie, and take thy rest. God called thee home.
No, he thought it best.
He thought it best.
That's a pretty standard one. So the story goes, and this is the part that, like, I kind of wanted to address this a little bit because I think all of us have this. The story goes is that she was in the fields and she ate a turnip and started to choke. And a friend ran to get a doctor, and by the time they came back, poor Addie was dead and had turned black.
But I'm wondering if maybe you turned purple.
Well,
I don't know that you turn black that fast.
I don't know. And then somebody else said, well, maybe it was, I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is there's always these legends, these stories that come out that that aren't necessarily fact-based.
Mm-hmm.
So Addie may have died from a turnip because she was allergic to it.
Possibly.
Or
Possibly.
something
or
else.
Choked on it.
Yeah.
But, sad.
It is awful. But
it also points to just how many details, like you've said before, how many details the newspapers put.
Yeah.
I mean, that you would never, ever see today, in an obituary for a child, them say, oh, she ate a turnip and choked and turned black. It's a lot of details.
Do you want to see what she looks like?
I do, yes.
Do you have it in my...
Oh, I have it.
Yes, you do.
Here, would you like me to hold this? Or you want me to
You
look?
can, just this one. You
Red?
That one, yes.
Okay.
Flip the page.
Oh my goodness.
This is so super cute.
So cute.
What I would say is almost very quintessential 1920s.
Look.
That
Oh my
short bob
gosh.
haircut. Bless her sweetheart.
Oh, she's adorable. This is the hard part of cemeteries. Like often, most of the time, 99% of the time, it's fun and it's interesting, and you're learning about people who haven't been thought about in, generations.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the sad stories.
These are sad,
can
but
haunt you.
let's remember though, by talking about her, you guys are now knowing about her, and you're not forgetting her.
That's right.
I know at your house, the movie Coco is very popular.
Yes.
And as I've said before,
That's right.
the story goes is that you die 3 deaths: when you die and your soul leaves your body, when you're buried, and then when the last person who remembers you passes away.
That's right.
So when I talk about
That's
children
right.
in any tour, when we are talking about them, the idea is that continual remembrance. So while it is sad that her life was very short, let's now remember that she did live a life.
That's
so
right.
Very important.
And she'll always be remembered as long as we keep doing this.
That's
yes.
right. And it's a pretty...
Aw.
It's a good...
Remember me.
Please don't sing for people.
Da, 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 da,
You should know the words.
Remember me. I know.
But
It's a song
I'm going to
from
show you
Coco.
this plot, though. It is the song from Coco. It's a pretty big plot, though. I only see 3 graves in here, right? Addie and then Haney and Nellie, who are probably her parents. But it's a large plot.
It is.
Is there anything over there that I'm missing?
Those are lows, but
Those
they
are
probably go
lows.
to that one. There's, let's see. There are a couple of just stones here that may
there's
have
some
one
stones, but
point
there's
been in
nothing-
here.
So it's a really large plot. And
These are lows as well.
I wonder if the
This
mother
one's
was
pretty.
a
Look at
low.
this one.
Which one? This one?
This one. Oh,
Okay,
yeah, it's
so-
got beautiful. The drapery and then flowers on all 4 sides.
So this one
Can't tell what
is
that says.
similar- This is a Blair. This one
Okay.
is similar to a number of the ones in the city cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
I have cleaned one like this. It is a little bit of a labor because, whoops, sorry guys, hit the stick.
1906, she died.
Yeah, so this is one we have something very similar. We have a few, but they're not the easiest to clean, but they sure do turn out nice.
Oh, I'm sure.
But this, I'm going to use this stone for an example, guys. Death dates 1932 and 1920 respectively, along with 1921 for the child. These are newer stones that somebody put in more recently.
Right.
Versus when they died, just because of the way they are carved and done. But this, Amy and I both noticed it with this cemetery specifically. Everything is very orderly. Does that make sense? When we've walked through others, it's like, oh, here's some family, here's another. This is all very familial in in the plots.
Oh, look at this plot.
I know, this one.
I mean, it's beautiful the way the grass is, bending in the wind. But are there, I don't see any stones.
What's that one?
Where's a stone?
Right there. What's that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's just. It almost looks like it came off of this. I don't know. Oh wait, here's something way under here. Like there's something in here. A piece of one. It's probably buried down under here.
Yeah.
And erosion, it's just kind of covered it over time.
Now I'm kind of going on a downward slope where I'm walking. Careful,
something over here.
There's a lot of downward slope on this one. All right, let me get through very carefully. The other thing about this cemetery I've noticed is it still has a lot of the family plot markers. So
Yes.
this is like a fieldstone.
That's just a fieldstone marker. You know what else I do wonder, since the church is still vibrant and obviously,
another shot of that.
thriving, I wonder if the descendants of all of these people are still members of this church.
Maybe.
And that's why they are still taking care of certain areas, certain plots, certain family plots are still taken care of, because their family have to literally look at it every day. As they drive by or go to church or whatever, they're still looking at it. And so, I wonder if that's one reason.
So this cemetery does have a lot of connections family-wise with Maloney Springs, which
It's not that far away.
it's not that far away. So there's a lot of names that are familiar. So we've seen a lot of Reeds. There's a lot of Reeds in this one.
I've seen more Reed gravestones today than I ever have anywhere, and I am married into it, but still.
I mean, there's a lot.
But what's interesting is this cemetery has Reeds, McClartys, and Alexanders, which those are the three surnames of my husband's family, but none of them are related.
But that's why I had asked you before we did this. I was like, are there any relations?
Not that I know
of. If you know, there's Pairs, so Pear Road, those Hicks.
Pair.
Yeah, Pair,
Right,
yeah. And then there's some Andersons. So let's go over and find the first graves. It's in that rock wall straight ahead.
Okay,
and that's Alexander. That's why I was like,
oh yeah,
family.
No, not ours. Not that I know
a lot
of.
A lot of these plots, the gravel is really packed. I mean, I was impressed. Like, you can't kick up any gravel in this cemetery. So you can see, like, here's some markers, footstones, walking through. But it's just lovely. Lovely, lovely. Very quiet outside of the cars. But
Let's see. I guess I'll walk this
we
way.
kind of figured that this section here, which is almost, I would say, in the middle of the cemetery, tends to be the older markers. Definitely got a lot of older ones. This one here, very similar to what Maloney Springs had. No name, nothing.
That's 1876 here.
1876.
That's a pair.
Yep. So, okay, so inside this rock wall, we are figuring this is the earliest plot. And it's actually, I'm gonna have to get on the other side because it'll be backward. I'm not getting in there.
Oh, I thought you were getting in.
Oh, no. That wall's really high.
I don't know why not.
I'm not gonna do that. Walk this way.
I guess
So
I'll
you
come
have
over here.
Smith Alexander, and then Nancy Stevens Alexander right there kind of in the woods. These are definitely newer stones in an older plot. So, so yeah, everything is kind of based off of here's our location to the church. There you go. You get a good idea. So, one thing we've never really discussed, trying to get my angles. What's the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? And it's not a joke. I'm not joking. Like, is there a difference? Do you know?
A graveyard has ghosts, and a cemetery does not.
Okay. That sounds like an excellent thought.
I mean,
mainly graveyards tend to be small yards attached to a church.
oh,
Whereas a cemetery isn't always attached to a church.
so would this be?
That's my question. We're across the street. But
Uh-huh.
I always wondered, like, if a graveyard is a smaller thing off a church, at a certain point, does a graveyard, like, graduate to a cemetery?
Like, at what
like,
point?
like, because maybe Smith Alexander here was buried in the church graveyard, but now this is a full-on cemetery. Like, this is legit
Yeah, I don't know.
cemetery. But
Could you have a graveyard within a cemetery?
maybe.
Because this is the original graveyard, and
Yeah.
then, you know.
So this cemetery is a church owned. So we've explored numerous church cemeteries. Marietta City is a municipal cemetery run by the city or state. We've visited
National
Cemetery, which is run by the VA, and then there's other types like memorial cemeteries, like Kennesaw Memorial, where all the stones are flat. You know, they don't
A
have
lot of
any.
those are privately owned, aren't they?
They tend to be privately owned,
Yeah.
but the reason that they're called memorial is because the memorial is laid down, makes it a lot easier to mow and whatever. There's green cemeteries where the person is buried with methods that will then allow their body and everything to break down naturally,
Right.
and reinvigorate the soil. So yeah, there's a bunch of different types of cemeteries. We have not. I would guess this was originally deemed a graveyard.
Sure.
Same with Maloney Springs.
Yeah.
Excuse us. And even Collins Springs.
Yeah.
Just because there's a road between them doesn't mean when they started there was a road between them.
That's true.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how old this road is.
but I don't
Look
think
at
it's
old maps.
1871.
Maybe.
Not paved.
No, not paved. No.
But
Can we look at her? Is she here? Is that her?
That is her.
Okay, Nancy Ann Stevens Alexander.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Alexander Stevens.
Yeah, don't confuse
No,
those.
don't confuse it. But there is a I'm gonna have to pull that up in my ancestry because there is a Nancy Anna Stevens. Anyways, I think there's a name like that. So maybe I'm related to her. Who knows?
Maybe, but like, look. Okay, so their children married into the Gans,
Oh, yeah.
the Glores, into the Stevens, Mitchells, Barbers. So like working their way
A lot
around
of
Yeah.
local families that you would see when you study the history of this area, especially into Smyrna.
Yeah, well, and Glore
And-
is more. We haven't gone there yet.
Mableton, yes, for sure. Okay, so these aren't the most flattering pictures of Nancy, but we can all imagine how beautiful she must have been.
Yeah, well, because she was born in 1812 in
Woo!
Clark County, so that's like Athens. And then, because I don't think there's anything else in Clark County but Athens.
Pretty much.
And then died in 1880, so she saw a lot in her life. And then how many kids is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
But that's 10 that just lived to adulthood listed. There could have been more.
So really in these pictures, she looks like she's about 70. She's probably about 40. She's just tired of raising 10 kids.
I mean, I don't blame her. There you go. You know
Check
what?
her out. She's not smiling. She's had a rough life. She's like, these kids have worn me down. I'm done. That's what that face says. That face says, I'm done. Y'all want to take a picture of me? I'm going to sit here, but I'm not going to smile.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's do the math.
Okay, do the math. Married in 1827.
She was 15.
Born in 1812.
15. Am I doing my math
I
right?
mean,
And then
12.
when did first baby come along?
22. 1828.
She was 16. Wait. 1828 was when her first baby was born. Last baby, 1851. That is, how many years having kids?
23. 23 years of having kids. Her husband.
Bless you, Nancy.
I know.
Bless
Her husband Smith was born in 1809, so he wasn't that much older
I
than
don't
her.
care.
They
I
were
don't care
just
how long you
children.
live, but
Children.
I don't care. No. She's
Lord
the one
have
having to
mercy.
do the work.
Now I want to know
Nancy, bless
where he
you.
obviously died here because he's buried here. I just wonder what brought them here, after all these kids.
Well, I wonder, I didn't print out more on him. Oftentimes what brings people here is, okay, so,
it's a picture of her
well, there's
son.
a pretty
Is
big...
he here? David Alexander?
I don't remember. But 1828 to 1833, between two kids, I have a feeling there was a couple of kids in that gap. Just
possibly.
History leads you that way. Or there weren't any kids in that gap because Smith got land in the land lottery in 1832. And so they ended up getting, because if you think about where Athens and Clark County is, that's a pretty developed.
Yeah.
That was pretty. The land was pretty much owned by the time Smith and Nancy were having kids and having. So coming over here, new land, new property. He could have 40 acres and do what they needed to do, and obviously have numerous children in that gap. And oh wait, did I write it on?
Okay, well, this is a picture of our son, but he died in Alabama, so, you know, that's another family member. But it isn't. Where was he born, though? Let's see. Georgia. Just says Georgia. I just wonder how many of their kids were born. Or the first kid was born.
Had to have been born in Clark County,
Doesn't
not here.
say.
But I wonder, can you flip the pages? Because I have Sarah's, the second child. I think I have her page.
Child.
Oh, no, that he'd be a little bit.
Scary.
There you go. What does that say?
She's born in Clark County.
Okay, well, but in 1833, so they might have been getting ready to move here.
Yeah.
But,
because she's here, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to know, too, though, where is, I guess they're related. There's a lot of Alexanders here, so they got to be related. There's Martha Lovelace Alexander. She's pretty.
I love her name. I love listening.
Oh, she died when she was 37, but where is she? She's here somewhere. Martha Lovelace with daughter Stella in 1883.
You go ahead.
She's here somewhere. Can y'all see that?
I don't know.
I don't know if they can see that.
I don't know. Here, you want me to flip it?
Okay. I don't see Lovelace.
Hold on. See if you can show them again.
Okay. Let me pull her up. Wait a minute.
It was like 2 seconds ago.
I know. Well, I've moved on. I'm fast like that. I'm swift.
Yeah, I don't really see it.
I can show you her face. Like, that's the other one. She was holding a baby.
There you go. There she is. There you see. Yeah.
She's around here somewhere. There's another picture of a lady, too.
There's a lot of pictures, a lot of ladies.
I know. I love looking at. I just like to. This is really probably not cool, but I just like looking at what they might have looked like before they went in the ground.
So these two right here leaning back is George Washington Henderson and his wife, Mrs. Henderson. Let me get a little bit closer. I don't know her name off the top of my head.
Athalia, found her.
Oh, well, there you go. Hold on.
Okay, come here. She's got a tiny little stone that's about to be underground. Born in 1860. Okay, she's right there. Somebody brought her flowers. And this is what she looks like.
I don't see any of that. We'll post it. We can send the link.
Yeah.
I know how to do that.
Okay.
That I can do. All right, so going back to Mr.
Yes.
Reverend Henderson.
Mr. Reverend or Reverend Mr.
Mr. Reverend Dr.
It's actually Reverend Mr.
Is it Reverend Mr.?
I think that's the correct terminology.
Okay, Mr.
When
Reverend,
you address it.
Reverend
Mr.
Reverend Mr. Well, I would think, he worked hard to become a reverend.
Here, why don't I do the camera up here?
You go do that.
And then we can see it a little better.
So
he's leaning. He is leaning.
So it's March 20th, it looks like 1817. Died September 21st, 1882.
7. 2.
I think it goes down.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, 2.
And then his wife is over there.
The reason I wanted to show him was because he was the first pastor.
Oh my.
Legit.
I mean, that's fire and brimstone right there.
And look at that Bible.
That's huge Bible.
That's a Bible. Don't mess with Reverend Mr. Henderson.
Reverend Mr. Yeah.
So
he is legit.
He is legit. I wanted to show one more just because if you park on the far side where we did, there's a set of stairs that leads you right up to this grave.
Yes.
And ironically enough, I had researched some people.
Fabulous.
So,
and we have to pass a log.
Oh yeah, you want to pass a log?
Yes.
That sounded fun.
Let's pass the log.
Okay, so if you guys don't remember what the cut log or cut wood means, it means a life cut short. Sometimes it also means the International Woodworkers, but this one doesn't have that symbol on it. So
look at that beautiful log. Yeah. Was they cut short?
I don't know.
Not
I don't
really.
think that's that short, but
1854 to 1906.
I mean, that's what, 52?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, for back then,
For
sure.
back then, for sure.
Sure.
But like, so this plot right here, look, Amy, look how big. You go
Looks
stand,
like a bocce
you
ball
go
court.
stand at that end.
Are you sure they didn't just want you to come play?
Look how far. Look at the whole.
I know. Look at this, and there's no other headstones, but just the two. What's the name? Oh, it's Reed.
It's Reed.
There's room for me.
They're Baptists, though, not Catholic.
Well, that's all right.
No discrimination.
No.
But yeah, you could see how it slopes down, slopes upward. There is no rhyme or reason to this location. If you do come out here on a warm day like today, make sure you got water.
And an umbrella.
Or a big hat, like you're doing.
I need a bigger hat.
You did need a bigger hat. Oh, let's not go that way. Let's go this way. Can you very carefully walk between?
I sure can. And if I don't, it'll make for great video footage.
It will.
I feel like you're on a roof.
I know, it does feel like that.
I mean, I don't know. This,
So the
wow, look at that.
I know.
There's no denying who is buried here.
The Hicks and the Wootons.
Hicks and Wootons. It's a Wooton Lake Road up in Kennesaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one that doesn't have nothing.
What?
That one's blank.
They're just waiting.
Just waiting. It's got benches on either end. This is a sitting plot.
I mean, this really is. Look. Very nice.
So, Cleve here.
Look at the stairs on this thing.
Oh, I know. The stairs are steep. Please be careful with that. So the reason... So Cleve here.
Cleve.
Short for Cleveland.
Oh, isn't that nice?
He was actually really involved.
Were they paying by the letter? They couldn't fit Cleveland on there?
I don't know. But what was interesting about him, he was heavily involved in the Southeastern Poultry and Egg Association.
Oh my.
He had a company called Foster Hicks Poultry, and they raised chickens and eggs.
Nice.
I read a story about how he...
I love chickens and eggs.
Somebody tried to steal his car, and he's like, no, you can't have my car. And you know what he did? Chased him down, grabbed it by the tire that was on the back, and got in and got his car back. I'm like, you're a man.
Pretty interesting.
Well, then I read a story about
Pretty
how
impressive.
a friend's car got stolen, and Cleve chased them down in his car. I was like,
he's like, look, ain't nobody stealing from me.
no, not gonna happen.
Let's see. If he's a Colonel U.S. Army, born in 1916, he probably served in World War II.
Yeah.
You know?
And then but
But what's interesting is they put Colonel, but they didn't put, like, sometimes they'll put, a little more.
well, but that's
Like
not
World War II
that's
veteran.
not a veteran stone.
No.
That's just a regular.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Same with.
Yeah.
So Cleve and Eunice have two children. One is John Robert, right there.
Yes.
And then the
other Captain,
is
Infantry.
Sarah,
USA.
who marries the Wooton.
Oh, he dies December 8th, 1944.
But what ended up happening though is he actually had already been discharged.
Oh.
And he died from illness because he was in the reserves. But I always hate that when I see
That's
somebody
so
who
sad.
survives the war
Yes.
or a war and then like only a few years or months later.
Oh, that's sad.
Now I wanted to mention Eunice here
Okay,
because
Eunice.
Find a Grave, I have a problem with it.
Okay.
Now that's a volunteer-run group. I appreciate it.
Yes.
But on hers, first off, Eunice Bishop. Her father was Albert Bishop, former sheriff.
Oh.
That one.
Yes.
Her brother was Al Bishop,
Bishop.
softball.
Yes.
So-
Okay.
But on her Find a Grave, it's Eunice Bishop, fat lady,
What?
Hicks. And I'm like,
What?
No. So
That's so
I have
wrong.
not been able to find any information that says she was large.
Larger than average.
But whatever
Fat
it is,
lady.
if
Bless
you're
her
gonna
heart.
give somebody a nickname,
I mean,
on
her
Find-
space is no whiter than anyone else's.
No. But also,
you know?
if you're going to give somebody a nickname, you should explain why.
Well, right. Maybe it was a family member who put it on there, and that was her nickname. And
maybe she was super skinny, and the joke was they called her Fat Lady. Like,
maybe, or maybe that's what they named her in the newspaper. Newspapers were pretty mean back then.
I know, but
like,
in her obituary, didn't say anything. Like, I couldn't come across anything. And I'm just
old Fat Lady Hicks.
Granted, her brother was not the slimmest of men,
well,
but again, it's not fair that you should do that and not give me an explanation. I could find an explanation. But Eunice, whatever, doesn't matter. You are here.
Yes.
In this beautiful cemetery, this beautiful grave, family plot. And again, if you come out here...
you know what? There was more for Jesus to love when you came into heaven.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
So, they can't hear... They can't hear it, but there is this tree in the woods that keeps making a noise, and Amy and I are waiting for it to fall.
It's going to fall.
It's going to fall. Like, we got to get out before it... I mean, it's not even near my car, but...
If you hear a scream.
Okay. So what this is... I mean, it's a beautiful cemetery.
It is.
Be very careful going down that
I'm not going to go down. Are we done?
I think we...
Let's flip it around.
Oh, yeah, you can flip it. The time is misleading
go.
because we had an issue. But yeah, I mean, if you come out here, again, it's a lot of sunshine. It's a beautiful cemetery. The Milford Baptist Church has done a really good job keeping it up to the best of their abilities.
Yep.
We all know that when you, as Amy said, filming or being on a slope is really hard because, again, we were way up at the top. So again, there's some broken stones and there's some stones that are leaning, but otherwise they all just need more of a clean than anything else. I really don't see anything other than a clean. That's really what they need. So we will be back next time.
That's right, from another undisclosed location.
I don't know where, somewhere.
It's undisclosed to us as well.
Yeah, it's always a surprise to us too. So we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for,
sending stars.
Sending stars. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Bye.